Close your eyes and imagine Earth. But not the Earth you know. No birds, no flowers, no grass, no mammals. Not even trees. Just silence, mist, and something breathing in the stillness. Because hundreds of millions of years ago, long before the age of dinosaurs, our planet was alien, a place of strange shapes, slow invasions, and towering organisms that defy imagination. Welcome to the Silurian Period, a time when life had barely begun to leave the ocean, and the land was ruled by creatures that looked like they came from another world. This is the story of Earth's most alien ecosystem, the Silurian swamps. Chapter 1, The Dawn of Land. Let's set the stage. It's about 430 million years ago. The continents are mostly lifeless rock. The air has barely enough oxygen to support land animals. Most life is still underwater, crinoids, brachiopods, trilobites, thriving in ancient reefs. But something is changing. For the first time, life is creeping out of the water. Tiny moss-like plants begin to colonize muddy shorelines. Primitive fungi form thin networks across the land. And soon, something much larger rises. Chapter 2, The Rise of Towering Fungi. In the middle of this still world, a giant looms, not a tree, not a plant, not an animal, but a fungus. It's named Prototaxites. For over a century, scientists debated what it even was: tree, algae, lichen. Turns out, Prototaxites was a giant fungus, standing up to 24 feet 8 meters tall. Think about that. A world with no trees, no vertebrate animals, and this towering fungal monolith piercing the sky. It didn't have leaves. It didn't photosynthesize. It likely fed on decaying organic matter, recycling nutrients in a world just learning how to breathe. And for millions of years, it may have been the largest living thing on land. A giant mushroom standing in the fog, feeding on death. Chapter 3, The Age of Arthropod Titans. As the land slowly came to life, animals began to follow. But not anything like us. Instead, the land was first claimed by the arthropods, creatures with exoskeletons, multiple legs, and alien-like forms. Enter the giant millipede. Arthropleura, one of the largest arthropods ever, wouldn't evolve until the Carboniferous, but in the Silurian, its early relatives were already crawling across damp, mossy ground. Centipedes, millipede-like myriapods, scorpion ancestors. Many of them had no predators, no competition, and they grew big, some the size of small dogs. Imagine walking through a foggy swamp and hearing something crackle in the distance. Not leaves, not a bird, but the legs of a giant insect-like creature, arm-length antennae twitching in the mist. And these weren't alone. Early sea scorpions, called eurypterids, had begun to crawl onto land in search of prey or shelter. Some reached 6 feet in length. They were armored, clawed, and unstoppable in shallow water. This wasn't just a new ecosystem. It was invasion from the sea. Chapter 4, The First Forests, but not what you think. By the late Silurian, something astonishing began to happen. The first vascular plants with internal systems to move water, evolved. No flowers, no wood, no leaves. Just simple, vertical structures, like Cooksonia, growing a few inches tall, but laying the foundation for everything that would follow. They were the first plants to truly stand upright, tiny, delicate spears poking out of the soil. Over millions of years, they formed dense, mossy carpets, then shrubby groves, and finally the first forests. Not like the forests we know. No chirping birds, no rustling leaves. Just quiet, damp air, and the sound of wind moving through spore-covered stalks. These primitive forests stabilized the soil. They pulled carbon from the air, and they made Earth, for the first time, green. Chapter 5, An Alien Atmosphere. Now here's the twist. The Silurian atmosphere was strange, far more carbon dioxide than today, lower oxygen and higher humidity. And this had consequences. With fewer animals breathing oxygen and no trees producing shade, temperatures were unstable. Storms could be violent. And because the ozone layer was still forming, UV radiation was dangerous at the surface. Some scientists believe early land creatures only emerged during cloudy periods or lived under dense cover to avoid solar death. Life was fragile, Every step onto land was a gamble. And yet, step by step, it happened. Chapter 6, A Future Hidden in Swamps. The Silurian swamps weren't permanent. They rose, they dried, they vanished. And over time, these fungal forests and swampy margins were replaced by taller plants, deeper soils, and more complex ecosystems. But their legacy remains. They taught Earth how to recycle. They fed the first land animals. They pulled carbon from the air, helping shape the climate for future evolution. Without the Silurian swamps, there would be no forests, no animals on land, no dinosaurs, no us. Stranger than fiction. We think of alien life as something distant, something on Mars or circling distant stars. But the truth? Earth has already been alien. At least once. The Silurian swamps were quiet, dark, teeming with life, unlike anything we've ever seen since. Towering fungi, crawling giants, living fog. And they were real. So the next time you look at a mushroom or step into a misty forest, ask yourself, what else has this planet hidden from us? And how many worlds has Earth already been? If this strange ancient world blew your mind, give it a like. Want more stories like this? Forgotten creatures, lost ecosystems, real alien worlds from Earth's past? Subscribe for more. And tell us in the comments, which Silurian creature would you never want to meet in the dark?